Well, I close the moment with Dr. Odubajo. We're looking at political parties and internal democracies. And before we went on that break, we said we should also try and explore some of these control mechanisms within the political party system and even outside, talking about the umpire. There must be ways by which some of these can be stopped or, rejigged to make them really a true political party.
Yep. The point is this: for as long as our political parties are like oligarchies, okay, the association or the government of very few powerful men, okay, that are those that are the ones that make the decisions, okay. There's always there's the unity amongst them, okay, such that they are able to limit even the powers of INEC in terms of controlling what goes on within the political parties. There's a limit to what INEC can do, okay. Nigeria is a massive country, a whole lot of things go on, okay. Now, on the face value, it could be presented that the rules and regulations are being followed. INEC would not necessarily stop your primaries for as long as you decide that, okay, this is how we want to go about it. If you say it's based on consensus, yes, INEC would accept whichever candidate you push forward. However, to what extent are the foot soldiers, the other members of the parties, to what extent are they satisfied with your decision? Okay, despite the fact that you present it as legitimate, okay, do the other members of the party accept these decisions? Is there a particular group of people that make decisions for the rest of the party?
Take us through what a consensus is. When they say we have a consensus candidate, is it just for just an individual to come up to say, this is who we want, or the entire political party system or structure sits down together and say, maybe through a voice vote, this is who we want?
Yes. The issue is, we're talking about lobbying the other time. Consensus arrangement could be legitimate. It is acceptable, anywhere in the world. If the party decides that, our decisions or, our offices will be, the process will be based on consensus arrangement, it is acceptable, okay? And when you say consensus, okay, there are actually decision makers. Yes, we've not gone back to ancient Greece where every individual has to vote, okay? However, there are means and methods of collating the agreement of everybody. Each party should have a machinery of collating, such that, yes, you have decent voices, okay, but at the end of the day, it is the majority. That's the whole essence of democracy. It is what the majority says, that would implement, okay? So in terms of choosing consensus candidates, you have the mechanism. It's not just, you don't centralize the process, okay? It's not just a few men because, they are the major financiers will now decide. The party should be above, individual what do you call it? Individual preferences or influences. No, it should. The all of the party should be carried along. We've had cases in the past. In the early days of our democracy, such that in a lot of cases you have unanimity. Okay, when you wanted, when there were going to be issues, the issues of AD and AMPP and all of those periods, when people did not agree, they moved out en masse. You could actually identify that these people, they had specific focuses, and these are the issues they wanted addressed. And they realized that those issues were not going to be addressed in a particular party. They moved en masse to this other.
Are you as we move on, are you optimistic that we'll have a better system, a better democracy as we get into 2015?
Yeah, I'm not a soothsayer, okay, but I believe that there's enough room for improvement, okay. However, the way things are now, we need to check ourselves, okay. We need to be very conscious of the negativities, within our processes. Okay, the negativities, if we're conscious, until we're conscious of those negativities, we will not be able to advance to the next level. Okay, and one of which is, the way we pride our godfathers, within the political system, the way we ensure, we provide the enabling environment for an individual or a set of people to determine our fate. Okay, by the time a governor becomes so powerful, okay, he has the security votes, at his beck and call, and we are sure that he has massive and huge resources. Okay, so everybody panders to him. Okay, the party structure should be retained at the party secretariat. The governor should be concerned with governance processes. Okay,
that's almost easier said than done, because a lot of people would say that, remember, a process brought him to office, and the way the politics is, if he knows that he wants to return, he must bear in mind that particular process. And if he wants to continue, if he wants to have another political office, he must continually keep that process in mind and see how he can continue to oil the wheels of progress, as it were. You've spoken at great length in terms of how internal party democracy is sacrosanct to what happens, in our daily lives, because eventually that's who we get to vote for. And you've differentiated between the voting process, free and fair voting, from free and fair elections in general. How would you say, what elements differentiate, or what elements will constitute of free and fair elections, aside or apart from transparent voting process, a transparent voting process?
Yeah, it's straightforward. Okay, a free and fair election process, is actually a process. It does not start and end with the voting process. Okay, prior to elections, what are the measures that you've taken such that you would ensure there would not be, there's a level playing field for everybody. The candidates that, show interest in contesting are given the opportunities as long as they meet the basic requirements. Okay, the people that are going to vote, to what extent have you ensured that they are not intimidated? Okay, just check what is the percentage of voters in Nigeria. How many people actually come out to vote on election days? Okay, but because, for as long as you know that there will probably be violence in your voting area, you don't want to come out. I think it was the last general elections, I did some things for INEC in Mushin. Okay, but I couldn't even mention this to my loved ones. I didn't mention that I was going to Mushin, because Mushin is meant to be a volatile area. People would not come out to vote. You are already disenfranchising, qualified voters. Okay, that does not augur well for a political process. There are other elements to it. Okay, however, what I'm trying to emphasize, which I think you got, is that the fact that we're seeing televised voting process does not actually make the process a free and fair contest.
Well, anyway, I think that is a place where we can leave it. Dr. Tola Odubajo, he's of the Department of Political Science, University of Lagos. He did say, well, he's also optimistic that things will get better, or we must have a better structure in our political party system as well as within the umpire. Well, we'll take a moment here on Sunrise Daily, and when we return, our closing moments with you. Well, we're supposed to be looking at some of your comments before we go. We got one there from Michael. Is it ideal for a governor who didn't do well in his state to go to the Senate? I think we should use a scorecard to qualify them.
Ejike says it's totally unacceptable for PDP senators to hold our country to ransom simply because they aren't happy with their party.
Austin, how can the PVC printing contract overwhelm the contractor? Did he bid for the contract? Did he submit a performance bond? Well, INEC has questions to answer.
Well, from Nick, will the old generation politicians who have benefited from an unclean system ever allow a smooth and transparent democratic culture? Well, so much.
Questions.
They're all questions. I'm hoping that in the days to come, INEC should be able to answer to those questions, especially coming from the electorates here in Lagos State. By the way, it's a holiday in the state, and if you're not observing one, once you're done with your jobs, go get your permanent voter card. And for the 9 local governments that are not getting theirs now, well, let's hope and wish that INEC will do what they should do in the days to come. Many thanks for being such a nice company on the program today, and Sulaiman Lady.
Oh, thank you. Have a lovely weekend, Maokbe Ogun.
Have a good weekend.